And we're back. Okay, so quick review. We've used the rectangle tool to draw rectangles. We've used the ellipse tool to draw circles and ovals. We've used the polygon tool to draw a variety of different shapes. We've also used the node tool so that we can create rounded corners, and using the selector tool, by single clicking, we can rotate our shapes. Double clicking is the one that lets us create rounded corners. Right then, let's have a look at changing the colors. So if your colors aren't really showing at the side of the screen, you go up to Object in the menu and you select Fill and Stroke. Here we go. Now, we have different types of color settings, but if we stick to HSL, so it might be on RGB, but if we stick to HSL, it's quite easy to use. We're going to start with Fill. Now, I've already got the shape selected. I am simply going to move this around, and as you can see, it changes the color of the shape. But the outline, the stroke of the shape, is still the same. So, we select Stroke at the top of the screen. And just as we did, we can move this one around, find the color of choice, and the shade of that color that we wish to use. So the third thing we can do is change what the stroke looked like, and that's the stroke style. Here it is. Now we can change the width, so this makes it thicker. We can change the style of the stroke, so we can have like dots. There's lots of different versions that we can do. Right, I'm going to stick with a solid line. And there it is. And you can do that on all of the shapes. So if I select another shape, go to Fill, go for a different color, go to Stroke, change the stroke to another color, stroke style. I can also type in here as well. Look, so I can just type the width that I want it, press enter, and there we go. It's done. Okay. The last thing I want to show you is a thing called the Z-axis. So if I select this shape up here and I move left to right, I am moving across the X-axis. If I move up and down, I am moving through the Y-axis. So the Z-axis is the one that kind of goes in and out of the screen. Now let me explain. As I move past that shape there, I'm on top of that rectangle. But as I move here, I'm going behind these ellipses. They look like they're all on the same level, but they're not. And it's because I drew them one after another. The last thing that got drawn ends up on the top. But it doesn't have to be that way. So I might want to put that square on top of that circle. So up in the toolbar, we have these 4 icons. If you hover on them, it shows you what it does look. Raise selection to the top. So it puts it on top. Lower selection to the bottom. So it puts it to the bottom. Now, when there's only 2 objects, it's either going to be on top of the object or beneath the object. But if we introduce a third object, like so, let's just place that there, that one there. I might want this one on top. Oops, had the wrong one selected. Put that one back to the bottom. There we go. Raise that one to the top. Now I might want to put this one in between these 2 objects. I can't press the top because it'll go on top of them both. But I can use the other buttons to place it exactly where I want. And placing it in between these objects, this is the Z-axis. And that's it. So, have a bit of a play, and then you can always try and create something for yourself. So create a house or create some sort of picture for yourself using these shapes and using the tools that you've learned to use today.